Things have been going absolutely insane for the CS2 investing market, starting off right here with the Austin Major. Now, if you want to look at it, Austin is currently gone from the game. It got removed in this previous update, and it's very interesting because these capsules did not receive any forewarning they were going to get removed, and that's exactly why we're seeing the prices we are right now. 2 to 2.5x all across the board for your sticker capsules, which is absolutely insane, and really evident of the fact that those ROIs were in fact still very inflated. If you want to look now, obviously it's not exactly the same because your capsules have doubled in price. If you want to look at the data right here, you can see that Austin is definitely in a pretty positive position, I would say. Overall, there's definitely a lot of really good things when we're talking about it. In fact, even low listings on the market here represents a positive outlook. Now, this doesn't guarantee profit, and honestly, investing in now when it's double the price it was just a week ago, so kind of hard sell for me personally, but I think there's a lot of opportunity when it comes to Austin here. It seems like people really do enjoy this as a general area, and the fact that they have doubled overnight is absolutely insane, but not really too unexpected. The really only unexpected part was the fact that Valve just secretly removed them like they did previously with Paris, but Paris, they added it back in. Here they removed them and they kept it that way inside of the previous update. So seems like these capsules are officially gone, which is very interesting, and obviously a very hefty price point for them is now available. Skinland is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with their brand new instant sale system. Starting off today, you're going to be getting a free $10 on your first trade, and you're going to be able to get that money instantly. It's not going to take 7 days to get paid with Skinland. You can do it in just minutes after Valve's latest update. Best part is they've got tons of different payout options, and don't forget to use code MasterShiny to get everything you're looking for. They're the safest option if you're looking to sell your CS2 skins, plus their massive marketplace offering every single thing you're looking for if you're trying to buy CS2 skins as well, and a ton of different deposit options. So don't wait, use code MasterShiny and get paid instantly for your CS2 skins. Now, the most evident thing that we need to talk about right now is the case market going on. Now, first up, we got a fracture case which recently got removed. If you want to check out the price point on that, it's sitting in a relatively expected position. It's still at a little bit of a higher price than what some people would expect, about 70 to 75 cents. It's on the upward mobility right now, but it's really coming down to the gallery case is what everyone is looking at right now. The gallery case is currently sitting at $1.50. It's fluctuating a lot day by day, even hour by hour. It shot up in price to almost $2, and now it's right around this level. Very interesting what we're seeing here because a lot of people are really split on this case specifically. In my personal opinion, I think it's very unlikely that if we see a discontinued case, it's going to fail, and that's exactly the perspective I'm bringing to the gallery case right here. If this thing is truly discontinued, which I mean, we're still getting the data in, so it's not 1000% guaranteed, but it seems like it is, there is a lot of opportunity here with this case specifically. Now, that's all well and good, but there's actually one area that's significantly more important to check out right now. It actually comes from our sponsor Skinland with this data right here. They came out and they found that the sealed Genesis terminal is actually closer to 40% of the drop pool rather than the old 19.8%. See, with the old active drop pool, every single case inside of it was an equal opportunity. If we want to look at this right here, we can see that is very much not the case. Now, the other four difference is a little bit negligible just because it is a smaller sample size, but it's very clear the sealed Genesis terminal was showing up about 2.5 times more commonly at 40%. That's crazy, and that's a really important thing to focus on because that means potentially we're seeing Valve trying to phase out cases. I don't necessarily know if that's the case. A lot of people are really going off the deep end with that one, but I think it's extremely important to focus in right here. If Valve is trying to get more of the sealed Genesis terminal or things like it similarly into the game, that's really good for rare cases. That's extremely good for discontinued cases. If there's no more of a case coming in, or it's less coming in, whatever we're seeing right here, there is a huge opportunity to make a lot of money off of that, in my personal opinion. This is a very interesting development. We're checking it out as it goes, but thank you to Skinland for this data because this is extremely interesting. Now, the other area that got removed in the most recent update is going to be those character craft stickers, and right now it could be a very great opportunity for you to get in as an investment opportunity because these things have not shot up in price. In fact, they've done quite the opposite. Some of them are down a little bit depending on which sticker you're looking at and which one you're really trying to go into. The ROI overall is sitting at around 200%, so it's definitely still up from the overall place we saw before they even announced the removal. But right now it seems like some of these stickers you can get in at a very cheap price point. It seems like some people have liquidated out their position. I would say this is definitely a long-term play, so I'm not worried about it. If you want to look at the data, the applications on these are strong enough. I'm not really too concerned about anything inside of this area, relatively speaking, but in a short term, it could be a really good opportunity to pick up some of these. Same with your graphic collection. Things have not gotten too crazy there as well just yet. I would say these are definitely very long-term plays, so I'm not worried about the short term here, other than the fact that you could be buying up more if that's something you really want to go into, but be careful as always. Now, talking about all the brand new things that came into the game, first up, I highly suggested you went ahead and redeemed your stars before this update came out because it was the safer option and guaranteed profit, and that's exactly what ended up being the best option here because if you want to look at these, there was no new case that came in. In fact, we saw just a couple new charms and sticker collections. Now, I'm very bullish on some of these items specifically. I think they're a great addition to the armory. When we're talking about overall player sentiment, though, it is not the exact same. People really wanted another case to come in, which didn't seem very likely based off the sealed Genesis terminal and the Fever case, both of which didn't really line up with us getting a brand new case into the Armory right now. And if we want to look at the brand new things that come in, there was a lot of potential with this. Honestly, if we want to talk about these charms, some of them are extremely cool and really good looking. There's a lot of uniqueness, and there's also a lot of charms in general. We're talking about tons of brand new items being added into the game, which usually people be very excited about, but it's very interesting that people are hyper fixating on the case aspect. Seems a lot of people got burned on this area, being that they had a lot of stars. I would say even if you got a lot of stars right now, you can still make a lot of guaranteed profit if you got enough of them. The elemental craft stickers are still at 173% ROI. We got our other collections at 150, 140. There's a lot of potential with the current Armory, and honestly, talking about the future of these areas that are brand new, we'll have to wait and see. For me, it's a little bit too risky to just instantly redeem your stars, but I definitely like these as terms of being that they're probably going to be over 100% ROI because there's so many charms inside of them. Now, some miscellaneous things that are really important to note right now. First up, we've got the Austin souvenir charms that were redeemed. We've got this graph right here, which is very interesting. Remember, this was the first major where we saw something like this, and right now it's extremely important to point out the fact that everything for the major opportunity is going to be back in a month. That's because our next major is coming up right around the corner. Valve usually is releasing their items about a week in advance, which means in probably just around a month, we're going to be getting some things for the Budapest major, I believe it is. So there's a lot of opportunities coming up in that specific area. Another very important thing to point out right now is I would highly suggest against overpaying for really any charms going on inside of the current market. If we want to look at what happened previously, obviously in the very first upcoming days, people were obsessed with all these different charms and all the different iterations and overpaying significantly for them. And what we've come to see today is really that is not the case. The majority of these charms end up being relatively market price. If you've got something that's absolutely insane, extremely cool, definitely try and get overpay for it. But I personally would not be in a position where I'm overpaying for charms from someone else. I'm not paying more just because I think it's the coolest thing out there, especially not a significant amount, just because over time we've seen that they kind of level out a little bit more. There are some charms that are still getting crazy overpay, but it's a lot less than what we saw in the beginning, which is extremely important to realize. And then talking about a rare case market, I think there's really nothing else to say other than the fact that we are so back inside of this area. I think the fact that the Armory did not come out with a brand new case is going to be a very bullish outlook for the majority of these cheaper rare cases. Now, nothing crazy has really happened overnight. We've seen a maybe 5% jump for the majority of cases, really just coming down from the fact that they were on a decreasing trajectory to now potentially on an upwards. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit to get that value back that was lost. I really just think this is a good moving forward aspect for this area. It was in a little bit of a slump, and now the fact that they know there's no direct competition immediately coming in inside this area, really good sign, really good overall opportunity. I would say check out the rare case market, especially the cheaper rare cases, which is what I focus in on specifically. I really like this area, and I think it's getting a really solid outlook right now. Now, what would I be doing right now? First up, I'm definitely grinding out a lot more Armory stars. They're going to be guaranteed profit if you get enough of them on a large enough sample size. Otherwise, I'm not making any rash decisions right now. I'm just checking out the market, seeing where everything lands. That's all I got with these. So much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.